Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Teams is issue number 1 out of 4 from Dark Horse Comics. So this is based off of the CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk 2077, which itself is based off of a tabletop game, but this is going to be more in line with the video game universe. So of course, we take place in the year 2077, and we start off with basically a bunch of civilians watching out a shootout that's going on. And I will say that the art for this is pretty damn cool. Especially the coloring. The coloring is awesome. The coloring reminds me a lot of like something out of like heavy metal or maybe like a French comic. Like the few French comics I've seen, like Valerian and stuff like that, it kind of gives me that feel. I'm not saying it's exactly like it, but it gives me that same feeling, and it's pretty cool. So we have basically a situation where we have the trauma team trying to heal this injured civilian in the middle of a shootout that's going on. And our main character is Nadia. And as she's trying to work on this guy, all the other people on her team are getting shot and murdered. And she just continues to work on this guy while trying to like not freak out. And I don't know. For some reason, I like the idea of a trauma team in a cyberpunk universe. Like, you never really see anything like that. Usually it's always like cops, police officers, detectives, something in that kind of vein. But you never really see like paramedics in the cyberpunk universe, or at least like a series or a story or something that takes place like in the medical field, like with a doctor or an EMT or a paramedic or something in that vein. So that's kind of cool. Nadia is basically undergoing a interview where they're pretty much trying to check what her mental faculties are at, since she is the sole survivor of this incident. Everybody died. All her teammates are dead. The person that she was working on survived, but that's kind of it. So she's the last one standing. And basically they're just interviewing to check to see how she is mentally. And eventually she passes. So she's put onto this new team, and everyone is kind of like treating her like the new kid, despite the fact that she's not new. Like, she's done this before. But she's thrown into this new team, and then eventually they find out that she was the only one left in the other team. She kind of has like a little stigma attached to her because the rest of her team was killed, even though didn't really have anything to do with her. Like, she did her job. But they had this mission where there's this guy who apparently is injured. He's someone popular, someone that they need to keep alive, and he's in this building. So they bust in, and as soon as they get in, they start getting attacked by multiple gangs. And as soon as this happened, I was like, oh, this is like The Raid or Dread. And I loved the hell out of both of those movies. So I'm kind of getting a vibe of that in this series. So it seems basically to be, trauma team stuck in the middle of a building with two rival gangs trying to kill the one person that they're trying to protect and save. Which also kind of gives me a little bit of Smoking Aces. So it's like Smoking Aces, The Raid, Dread, with a Cyberpunk 2077 paint over it. Which, hey, like, I liked all three of those movies, so I'm not knocking this at all. So I'm not going to spoil anything else. I know this is kind of a short review, but this series, this issue kind of blew by really fast, which I guess could be a good thing since it didn't really drag on. And if I show any more, I'll spoil it, especially if I show like who they're trying to protect and stuff like that. I don't want to give anything away, but I will say go check it out. It's pretty cool. Like I said, like the art, I like the art. The artwork actually works for this series, and the coloring is, like, again, like I said, it's really cool. Like, you just have like these crazy, like, just neon light kind of look. Again, it reminds me a lot of like a heavy metal or a French comic or something like that. And again, the plot is basically The Raid meets Dread meets Smoking Aces, set in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe. The character of Nadia, I'll say, is kind of a blank sheet right now. Like, I can't really say anything good about her, but I can't say anything bad about her either. At least she's not like she's not annoying, and she's not like a pushover. She's not a wuss. But she's not like, super strong, I'm the best at everything. So she's like a character that's going through trauma. So I thought, okay, that's kind of interesting. I hope they play up that a little bit more. I feel like they didn't play it too much in this first issue. In this first issue, because of the trauma, she's kind of dead inside. And she doesn't really talk that much. and she just kind of keeps to herself. So we don't really get a feel for what her character is going to be like. But again, since it's just the first issue, I'm hoping issues 2 and 3 will kind of show more. I feel like we're going to get that just because of who she has to keep alive. I feel like that's going to bring out more of a personality in her. But until we, we'll have to see. So the main characters, I can't really say anything about her. She's just kind of like a blank slate right now. The universe is pretty cool. The comic does a really good job of keeping you informed of what's going on, kind of stuff. Like I'm someone who obviously I haven't played the game yet because it hasn't come out. I'm not familiar with the tabletop game, so I don't really know the universe. I know the Trauma team is actually a part of the role-playing game, but I don't know anything about them other than the fact that apparently there's like 2 medics and then the rest are kind of like soldiers whose job is to keep the medics, safe while they do their job. So Nadia is part of the medic squad or the medic group, but it does a good job of kind of making sure you don't get lost. So I'll give props to the writing in that. I'll give props to the artist art. I'll give props to the coloring, especially the coloring. And yeah, I'll say the only complaint so far would just be that I feel like we don't really get much out of Nadia. But I feel like this is basically setting up, and then we're going to get more of her and her personality. We're going to understand more of, what kind of character she is in the next issue. So we'll see. But other than that, that's like my one little nitpick. I do enjoy this. I do recommend it. It's only 4 issues. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty good issue. Anyways, tell me what you guys think. Anyone a fan of the Cyberpunk tabletop? Anyone looking forward to the game? Anyone who's checked this out, what do you guys think? If you guys are familiar with the tabletop, please, if you guys can share a little bit more information on what a trauma team kind of is and what they do and stuff like that. From my understanding, it seems that basically they kind of go in and they try to keep people alive. They're basically like paramedics, but with armed guards that go along with them. That's my understanding from what I've read. I could be wrong. But yeah, if you guys have any more information about the trauma team and stuff like that, please share with me. I'm always down to hear more Cyberpunk lore and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you guys haven't already. Hit the bell for notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you disliked it, thank you for watching this far. But yeah, feel free to comment down below. And I hope you guys have a good one. Later.